let's get to it. We got some sports highlights: boxing, UFC. It's the quarter mark of pretty much the entire season right now of both the NBA and NHL. I'm just gonna brief on that. This isn't. Uh, I'm not gonna try to make this too long because I like to stick to soccer, and I got lots of World Cup highlights to get to. So without ado, let's get to the NBA right now. Looks like the Phoenix Suns and Boston are the leaders of both of their East and West divisions. Boston with the higher winning percentage. It looks like 18-4 to the Phoenix's 15-6. Celtics have won 9 of their last 10, and Phoenix has won 7 of their last 10. Looks like Milwaukee and Denver placing second. One's Milwaukee's 15-5, Denver's 14-7. Both winning 6 of their last 10. Cleveland and New Orleans in third. Indiana and Memphis in fourth. Philadelphia and looks like the LA Clippers in sixth. Atlanta and Sacramento Kings in Philadelphia and LA in the fifth spot. Atlanta and Sacramento in the sixth spot. Toronto and Utah in the seventh. And the reigning defending champions, the Golden State Warriors and the Brooklyn Nets, both in the 8th spot. Everyone else is looking outside, looking in, and the 9th spot actually is both held down by 2 teams that are 11 and 11. That is the Wizards in the East and the Trailblazers in the West. Portland. So, with that said, and I was just looking at some, like, I've been watching here and there, and yeah, like I said, it's the quarter mark, and it's teams figuring out what they've done wrong, what they're doing wrong, what they're doing right. Injuries is a big key, and I think that's what held back some teams. I think that's what's holding back the Heat, who are actually in 11th in the East, which is actually surprising. Same with the Bulls, they're 12th, and I picked both the Bulls to actually make the playoffs. So maybe I'm right. Most likely, probably going to be wrong. From what this looks, I also picked the Thunders to make the playoffs in the 8th spot. So I could be in for the West. So I could be, again, wrong with that. Right now, the way the West looks, I think we found our teams that are going to be in there. And the East, it's always the East. Let's just be honest. So that's NBA. I don't know. I'm a Toronto Raptors fan, so hopefully we go far this year, go farther than we did last year. So let's move on to the NHL, where in the Atlantic Division, Boston, Toronto is the leader of that division, leading Toronto, who's in second, Tampa Bay in third, and Detroit in fourth. All the moves that Steve Yzerman has been able to make the last couple of years have actually paid off. Surprise! Look what he did with Tampa, and how he's doing it with his team that he won many Stanley Cups with. It's actually not surprising. What's now actually surprising is the fact that, well, Florida's actually not doing that great. Everyone, with all the trades, Florida is in 5th, and so is Calgary. But that's also, again, this is the quarter mark. So let's not jump ahead, but at the same time, we gotta look and evaluate, like, yo, this is where you're at, and you guys gotta, some teams just gotta step it up. Like Pittsburgh's 4th with a +7 goal differential, and we're 12-8-4, and I'm a Penguins fan, so like hopefully we go a lot further. Let's hope that, because Pittsburgh, this is we put together a team that I feel comfortable with, and I felt comfortable all year, especially when I looked at the roster. I felt comfortable last year. Just didn't work out away. We lost in the first round. It's what it is. Surprisingly, the Rangers are, with a minus 16 goal differential. They're in fifth, Washington sixth, Philly seventh, and Columbus eighth. Of course, this is in the Metropolitan. The Metropolitan biggest surprise is led by the New Jersey Devils, which to me isn't necessarily a surprise because they're a young team. They're 19-4-1 with 35 plus 35 goal differential. It's like they're plus 35. What do you want me to say? Fucking 90 goals against their 55 scored against them. Like they're just outscoring their teams. Now, that's also gotta have to do with their goaltending because their goaltender is stepping up. But again, it's still pretty freaking good for a young team. And to me, that is one of the better highlights, I guess, finding, when you get to see a young team actually progressing and not just being a young team that gets beat up on. It's that, to me, that's just as rewarding. Now, it's not my team, because I'm a Penguin fan, but kudos to the Devils and, the work that they're putting in. We go to the West, Dallas, the Central, led by, of course, the Stars, and short right behind them is the Winnipeg Jets, with no captain. Who thought the Winnipeg Jets with no captain, were gonna be a second in their division, ahead of Colorado? Even at the start of the year, no one thought that. So shout out to them. Shout out to Minnesota for hanging in there. We got Nashville, St. Louis, Arizona, Chicago, all in the bottom of the Central. I saw Chicago get off to a pretty good start and then kind of just coasting now. And I don't know. Maybe it's the team. Maybe I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the culture. Maybe it's the coaches. I don't know. But I'm not gonna come down on a team that's won 3 Stanley Cups, and they have 2 of the players still left. I think you might see them move up a bit. I'm not too sure. Maybe they are in the rebuild. I don't know. I figure they're gonna do something because I don't see Chicago staying there. I see Arizona taking over the final spot there, the last spot in that division. But the West, we go to the Pacific, and much to everybody else, well, Gary Bettman's liking, his 2 favorite toys, or new shiny toys, are the leaders of the division. You got Vegas, you got Seattle, of course, you got the LA Kings, and then Edmonton. And Kings have a plus 17 goal differential, and they're not too far behind on freaking Seattle there. Not too far on Seattle, and just a few, and only a couple more games behind freaking Vegas. So we'll see what happens there. Look, that's the quarter mark, and but biggest downer is Anaheim. I thought Anaheim was going to do a little bit better. They're 101 goals to their 59 scores, so they're 42 in the minuses. So that's unfortunate, but that is all we can really talk about because it's only not even the halfway mark, and can only do so much. Let's talk a little baseball though. Let's talk a little shout out to the Houston Astros for getting that monkey off their back for 2017, actually winning a championship without cheating. But with that said, they have a team to go back to back. They're the team. It's guaranteed that they're the team. Defeated the Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies had a great year, and I'm not gonna fret on that. Like, that was a really good year. They started off, they didn't know whether they're gonna make it, and then they end up being in the World Series itself. This is more or less gonna be though about Aaron Judge. I've heard a lot of people like the Mets, the Dodgers, the Angels, the Padres, the Giants, the Rangers, the Red Sox, all wanting offers to him. Wild cards include the Orioles, the Blue Jays, the Cardinals, and the White Sox. Favorites though, Giants, definitely the Giants, Padres, and Dodgers and Mets. Underdogs, Seattle, Texas, and possibly Baltimore. But those are just suspicions. I don't know if it's for sure, but what will happen is someone's going to offer him a massive contract. And surprise, surprise, it will not most likely be the Yankees. I don't want to guarantee that because, no one judge. He's going to get all these offers and he's going to go back to the Yankees and they're going to give him their final offer, which would probably be ridiculous, but it's not going to be about, it's not going to be the same. A little bit about CFL. Shout out to the Toronto Argonauts for defeating the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the Grey Cup to prohibit the Blue Bombers from reaching that milestone of 3 straight. Did in Regina, Saskatchewan. It's a good game. It was the 2 best teams, and usually in the CFL it doesn't always work out like that. So the 2 best teams got to face each other, and it was only a 1-point game. So shout out to the Toronto Argonauts for winning in Queen City here. Shout out also, let's do a little talk about boxing. Alvarez Canelo there is about to verse somebody. I don't know who. Last 2 was Dmitry Bivol and Gennady Golovkin the third. Hopefully, last 2 I didn't actually catch his fights, so hopefully I'll be able to catch his next match, which would be really, really cool because I would love to see some boxing that actually involved boxers again. I've been mostly watching Jake Paul and his brother Logan take storm to the combat world, and really it's awesome to see them, and shout out to Jake for all the sponsoring of the, trying to, sponsoring women boxing and all that, and just trying to unite a community to be able to help boxers with those serious injuries, and just a combat sports union, the way they've been talking. It's really good. Shout out to also, let's talk a little UFC. It was awesome to see the Adonis fight. Was not surprised at the outcome because he's always had it hard against him. King Israel is still, to me, one of the best fighters, but shout out to the victor because that was an awesome victory because it was just dominating. And to be honest, I can't wait. I saw that Yari Prochaska and Glover Texier were canceled. The light heavyweight, the UFC fight, was canceled, and now Jan Blankovic and Magomed Kaleov. I'm pretty sure that's his. What's his face's freaking understudy. So that's one of those one of those Russian that under Khabib. Sorry, I people upstairs. I couldn't even think of it. Khabib's understudy, and absolutely cannot wait for that. It's light heavyweight match. Jan Blankovic versus Magomed Kaleov and Kaleov. The women's lightweight, Patty Pimblett versus what's I actually don't know who she's versing. But she's putting her title on the line, lightweight, and Robbie Lawler versus Santiago Pozimbio, the welterweight. So that's UFC 282, and that happens in a week's time. So with that said, let's finish off with WWE. Everyone knows about the sexual hush money allegations that Vince McMahon has been faced with. Of course, him stepping down. Now in charge is, of course, his daughter, Stephanie McMahon, one of the Khan brothers, and of course Triple H, aka Paul Levesque. WWE stars that happened to come back during this time: Bayley, Dakota Kai, Io Shirai, Karrion Kross, Scarlett Bordeaux, Dexter Lumis, Johnny Gargano, Braun Strowman, Hit Row, Giovanni Vinci, Ronda Rousey, and of course, Mr. Rotunda's son, Bray Wyatt, and hopefully get to see his other kid, Bo Dallas, back in the WWE. I've heard of Malachi Black also making his way back to the WWE. Of course, his wife, Selena Vega, is there. MJF wanting to go to the WWE. And of course, William Regal recently has been let go by AEW, which of course there's been talk of him going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Other notable ones that have been going in that are probably going to go into the Hall of Fame, we have women like Victoria, I think it's Mickie James. There's actually a lot of people that I'm pretty sure. There was talk about Goldust. There was talk about putting the Hardy brothers in, but because of the case that's brought against Jeff, that may not happen soon. So right now, I was talking with a buddy that said when Clash at the Castle happened, because Georgia Smith, the British Bulldog's daughter, was there, apparently Brownie Bennington, the daughter of the Dynamite Kid, all sat down with Triple H and Stephanie and talked about putting the British Bulldogs into the Hall of Fame as a tag team. Now, I don't know if that's for sure, because from what I was told, Bret Hart wasn't part of that meeting, which Bret Hart was also at Clash at the Castle, and he looked a little bit happy. So I don't necessarily believe if they were putting the British Bulldog and Dynamite Kid in the Hall of Fame, they would have let Bret Hart know. And so that, to me, that just doesn't make sense why they wouldn't let him know. But if that's not the British Bulldogs, there was talks about the Demolition. I heard there's been nothing on that front. Apparently WWE hasn't even attempted, or the people from WWE, or however the process works for going into the Hall of Fame, hasn't contacted the Demolition, so I don't know anything about that. There's also some post made about the Brood, why they aren't in. There isn't any forefront that Christian, Gangrel, and Ed will be going in as the Brood as well, which would be pretty cool. It's totally 90s. I saw a few more people that we may see. Steve Blackman apparently in the Hall of Fame in the Legacy category. Ken Shamrock in the Legacy category. The headliner, from what I hear, apparently they wanted Evolution, but there's also talk of just Batista. But this is also in Hollywood, so I'm assuming that it was going to be Triple H, or it was going to be John Cena, or it was going to be Dwayne Johnson. I don't know. But what I will say is this year, this Hall of Fame will be something else. Cannot wait. Thank you for your time. I gotta get and check on my World Cup stuff. Thank you very much. Until next time.